Hello everybody, so I'm Joe, if you didn't already know. I'm going to go through how I made a brisket flat, kind of on the fly. I'm only going to be cooking it for about 3 hours, but this is how I'm going to barbecue it. So the first step is to make yourself some sort of an injector marinade. So I just made my own with some Worcestershire sauce, some barbecue sauce, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and some other stuff. And I took my injector needle thing and injected it. And then after that, make like a dry rub with some brown sugar, you know, just however you want to make your dry rub. So got the dry rub on it. And this is a 2.5 pound brisket flat. So, and we're just gonna let that sit and marinate for about 2 hours. Like I said, this is on the fly. If you want to do this up the traditional way, then you know, let it marinate for a day and cook it for like 10 hours. So, alright, so the second step, once you have your brisket in the fridge and it's marinating and all that good stuff, you want to come outside. Now we're using a gas grill. So this is how I'm going to smoke using a gas grill. I might take one of the grates off here on the left. I just put a pan in there with some wood, and you know, I just went out to the yard. I have plenty of trees and stuff, so I just grabbed some wood. And this is from the pear tree, actually. So it should be a little bit of sweetness to it. So you just soak it in some water. They say you don't have to, but I do. And then you just put it in a pan and set it right on top of where the burner is. And then over on the right hand side here, we have another pan full of water that's about 1 inch thick, or deep, sorry. And this is where the brisket's gonna go. The brisket's actually gonna sit right there. So that's how you do step 2. You don't want to have the brisket directly on the heat, and so on and so forth. So that's how I do that. Alright, so obviously the next step, put the brisket on top of the grill. I'm going to put it on top of some aluminum foil. You don't have to do that, but hopefully some of the juices from the fat and stuff, when it comes down to the bottom, it'll kind of stay in there. Took a minute for this wood to start burning. You can go to the local store and just get some wood chips in a bag, and it'll start burning and smoking like within 5 minutes. This one took about 20 minutes for some, because this stuff is pretty thick. But one thing I was going to say about the marinade and stuff that you inject inside of the brisket, I went to the store and I couldn't really find anything that would be applicable to a brisket. So you just got to kind of make your own stuff. Like I said, I use Worcestershire sauce, and then I just threw a couple other things. You can put anything in there really, but some barbecue sauce and some apple cider vinegar, and you're good to go. So anyway, so we're going to put this on here, close it up. I'm going to be cooking it at about 225, so it should take about 1.5 hours per pound. So we're looking at about 3 hours and 45 minutes, because it's about a 2.5 pound brisket. They make briskets, you know, you can get a 15-pound brisket if you want, but I'm just going to be serving this for like 4 people, so actually I'm hoping that it is enough, because we do like our barbecue. But anyway, so I'll get back on and see how this thing's looking in a couple of hours. Ready. Alright, so here we are. It's about 2.5 hours into the process. The smoke's been going really good. That's the tricky part about using smoke on a gas grill. You got to figure out what works for your grill. You don't want to burn the wood. If it catches on fire, then it's not going to create smoke. It's just going to turn the heat inside of the grill and make it up to like 400 degrees, and then that's no good. So as you can see, I ended up using a pan for baking bread, and that seemed to work pretty good. So we got the smoke going here. This right here is pear tree wood, and the brisket's looking all right. It's starting to, you know, get a little bit darker. Some of the juices are coming up to the top, and that's all the marinade, the injection, and the smoke, and the rub, just like all of it coming together, and it's going to be great. But we'll come back, and probably about 1.5 hours, this should be done. And again, this is the quick way to do it. Do it in like 3 hours and 45 minutes. Alright, so the last part of the process is wrapping the brisket in aluminum foil. Now, the reason I did this is because I'm not able to cook it for 10 hours or even 8 hours on a grill. So the internal temperature hasn't reached 180 to 200 degrees yet. So what I'm going to do is just wrap it in aluminum foil like I have here, and just let it sit in there for about another hour, and make sure that the temperature inside the grill is around 225 to 250 at this point. And It's the internal temperature should come up, and after an hour from now, we should be able to go. You just got to make sure you let it sit for about 10-15 minutes to get it room temperature, and then you're good to go. Alrighty. Well, thanks a lot for watching, and that's how you cook a brisket on the fly.